Hello everybody, hope you are doing well. Today we are in Christchurch and we are just on the outskirts of Bournemouth, and today we're doing some really interesting ruins, Norman ruins of Vermont Bailey Castle, Norman House, and behind us is the church slash palace. So enjoy your history lesson. It's beautiful round here, isn't it, Steph?
Lovely.
Absolutely stunning. So stay with us, enjoy your history lesson, and I will, of course, we'll see you on the other side. Come on. Situated just shy of Bournemouth lies a beautiful ruined site, that of Christchurch Castle. Originally starting life as an earlier wooden fort built in 924, seeing this area as of strategic importance guarding the sacred River Avon at its lowest crossing. It would be after the Norman conquest of 1066 that the fort would be upgraded to a modern Bailey Castle, replacing the wood with stone, mainly rebuilt due to the Norman power struggle post William the Conqueror in the civil war between Stephen and Matilda, trying to claim the Norman kingdom for themselves. But on the site itself, the earliest stonework can be dated to 1160. With this, there is also built within the castle grounds a rare domestic type of Norman house, known as a constable's house, and is a rare and notable example of a Norman domestic dwelling, even having a very rare Norman chimney, having been only one of 5 still surviving in the country. What makes this Norman castle really interesting, but not necessarily uncommon, is when built, its main use was not to be a defence against invaders such as Vikings, but more a place to control the locals from a potential uprising. This role would be militarily important because it controlled the harbour as well as the inland via the River Avon. The castle would see many changes, including a great tower being built around 1300, but fast forward in time to probably its most significant mention when it would be another civil war, namely that of what we would refer to as the English Civil War, when the parliamentarians were allowed to take control of the castle in 1644 and the royalists laying siege to it for 3 days, demolishing houses on the corner of Church Street and Castle Street in order to site their cannons. The royalists were unable to take the castle, and Oliver Cromwell, fearing such a powerful stronghold, ordered it to be slighted in 1652, turning the castle into ruins, leaving a couple of the keep walls remaining as well as the remains of a rectangular moat and the house. Now owned by English Heritage, both the castle and the house have been given Grade 1 listed status, and it is without question a place you should visit should you be in the area. Well everybody, welcome inside our first building. Really, we're only going to really cover about 2-ish buildings with like the Bailey and everything else. Welcome to what is labelled as the Norman House with Steph here. And obviously, because it's English Heritage, it gives us a really good example of what we're looking at right now. So obviously the solar, which is a private chamber. We've discovered lots of these before. The passageway, which would have been from there across to there, our fireplace, which is over yonder, and in the hall, which is the main central passageway here with decorated windows. In the hall, it says, was perhaps used for entertaining the Lord's most important guests. Several English kings, including King John, also known to have stayed at Christchurch. It's like they dined here. You can still see the fireplace to your right and the decorated window at the far end. It says this building is one of few remaining examples of domestic Norman architecture in England, constructed around 1160. I don't really want to sort of say too much else because obviously you've had your history lesson on it, but as we can clearly see, the two different levels of the room with the big square bolted like rooms where the timbers would have come across, and you can see it's absolutely stunning, really beautiful architecture as it was noted on there. And it's just remarkable, really, with the pigeons as well. And it's free, isn't it, Steph? It's free. It didn't cost us a penny, apart from parking. And obviously parking, I suppose you can take your own sort of like vibe on. But let's get Steph's viewpoint. What do you think, Steph?
It's amazing.
Yeah, you've not been to many ruins, have you, before? I'm just sort of thinking about that. But this is just, it reminds me of Broxgrove Priory a little bit in terms of the moment you sort of walk into it. It's just that you're in this sort of encapsulation of this architecture, and it's wonderful, really. And obviously if you're quite familiar with building layouts and stuff, you get a really good idea of it, really, with like I said, the two-phased flooring that you get, and like I said, these beautiful arches, these stone arches that we sort of see, so beautiful in their construction. And it just gives you that sort of like vibe of how it just looks. It's simply gorgeous. Like Steph said, it's absolutely amazing, really. Just wanted to point this out before we leave this. Can you see that beautiful, what would have probably been part of the fireplace, all the way up into that chimney? Amazing, really. Look at that. Wow. Incredible. Really beautiful ruins. So glad we had the time to come here today. On my list of ruins to visit, like it just happened to be that we are in the beautiful, I think it's beautiful, isn't it, Steph?
Yeah.
Christchurch. Gorgeous, gorgeous little area. Probably need to come back on a few more occasions and spend more. You've been to Bournemouth more than probably me, actually, I think, haven't you? Yeah, so.
But never to Christchurch.
No. But obviously now we know, we can definitely visit back, can't we? Let's carry on. So we are now standing in the Bailey of what would have been the castle keep is behind us, the motte of it, and now the Bailey is where we're going to start, which is now here. Not much to see, not much to imagine, but you've got to imagine that it would have actually been Moathead with a stream going all the way around and then coming back almost in a full circle straight round it. Actually, it's hard to sort of imagine that, but when you realise where you are in location with it, it's actually pretty cool. But amazing to sort of see that beautiful English heritage again with their sort of map designs, which obviously gives you a sort of really instant idea of all this. But we're going to head up to the keep now, so let's go. We made it up to the top. It's deceptively high, which means that in theory the condition of the motte is really good, because this is what most of them should look like in terms of their mounds. And this is our keep of what's left of it. Very similar to Knepp Castle, for people who want to reference on previous videos. We've got this really, really thick wall that's here that would have dominated the landscape. So yeah, this beautiful tower called the Great Tower. Stunning, really. And again, it's really hard to tell because of the layout, but it would have totally dominated this. And you would have been able to see it for miles. And obviously with its prominence defending this sort of coastal area, it's really prominent. And obviously there we can see our church over just in the distance. All had it conveniently placed here, and obviously in scale, if you want to get a scale of like the sort of like layout of it, it's very similar to Tunbridge. So if you see my video of Tunbridge Castle, the actual medieval layout of it, you know, it's pretty familiar. The fact that the moat is obviously surrounding the tower, it's remarkable really. But look at these thick walls, they're impressive, aren't they, Steph? Yeah. It's just amazing. We were like sort of saying on the camera, like when you walk up here, it doesn't take much to sort of like imagine the surrounding sort of area just sort of like disappeared, and this to take its dominance over it. But again, as I said before, it's free, everybody. You can come here and you can visit this for yourself if you don't mind paying for a little bit of parking, depending on where you go, of course. And obviously it talks about the Civil War part of it as well. King Stephen material. This is what I was sort of saying about on the moat surrounded by water, as you can see there, just square in its design, nothing more, nothing less, as a sign of dominance. Amazing, really. Very cool. Well everybody, that was Christchurch Castle. Really hope you enjoyed that. We went for a little jaunt, didn't we, around this small but tiny but beautiful ruins that surround here. What do you think, Steph?
Amazing.
Really cool, wasn't it? Really special. One that I can now tick off and say I've finally done, which is brilliant. Hopefully you enjoyed that history lesson. Hopefully you enjoyed this brief little historical jaunt around this place. Like I said, it's not much, but what is here is totally worth documenting. I thoroughly recommend, should you be in the area, definitely to come down here and check this place out. We're off. We're going to head out back home, and take care, everybody. Love to you all, because history matters. And yeah, you know the drill by now. Ready?
Yep.
Kapow.